Give thanks and praise to the mystic laws of the universe and its protective functions and forces in nature that guide our thoughts and our path in all ways that are lawful, correct, and positive. We do give thanks and praise. Now, our path to freedom, comprehending the proper law of contract. I man share this information in my little public community area, which is the Facebook and the YouTube, or that's some kind of work from. Now we say our Indian nation copy claim under copyright abbreviation core usage. Today's date, 12th of July 2025. The year of first publication of the copyrighted work. I really just deal with the laws and the basic rules what I'm have out there. So that's where we are expressed. But from our perspective, or intellectual property or intellectual breakdown. Honorable clarification. I must a distinction between civil rights and civil liberties, now properly expressed. Fundamental freedoms, that's what we call it, but Babylon call it civil liberties. And on the island, them write and say fundamental rights and freedoms, we don't say liberties. So liberty would be synonymous with freedom as we go express as we go along. Notwithstanding the interchangeable use of the terms civil rights and civil liberties, what we call fundamental freedoms, they must say, despite the interchangeable use of the terms civil rights and civil liberties, their meaning and consequences are distinct. It's different. Number two, civil liberties or fundamental freedom refers to the state of being free within any society from oppressive restrictions imposed by any authority, specifically the colonizing authority, upon the individual's way of life, behavior, or political views. Number three, civil rights refers to the authority to perform. Again, civil rights refers to the authority to perform. And what did we say civil liberties is? Civil liberties refers to the state of being free within any society from oppressive restrictions imposed by any colonizing authority upon the individual's way of life, behavior, or political view. So that is the distinction. Wanna deal with rights. When it talk about rights, rights only mean authority to perform. So when them give civil rights, is like a corporate state or the corporate authority or the colonial authority, a issue or a give you or a grant you civil rights. Now, the very same colonizing authority cannot issue, grant, or do nothing like that where civil liberties are concerned. So this is a distinction where we are trying to express. We are saying the civil liberties or the fundamental freedoms is separate and distinct from the civil rights. In other words, rights are separate and distinct from freedom. So you can either have freedom, or you can have rights, or you can have, like in Jamaica, you have fundamental rights and freedom, meaning they go together. Just like the Commonwealth citizen and Jamaican citizen. It doesn't say and or, it says and. It doesn't say or. So when it's said or, that's when it's optional. And when it's said and, That's when it's joined together. If may I express that clearly enough. As we go along, we get the clarity, because you have a look in my tapes when we talk about being a Commonwealth citizen according to the Jamaica Independence Act. Well, now at this present moment, where we are now more so cognition or cognizant of what going on out there, it's safe to say we are just non-citizens, meaning we are now citizens of the man-made country or the man-made state or the man-made counties. So this is clarity. Now number 4 was says civil liberties are freedoms guaranteed to you, the people. Again, guaranteed to you, the people. Now, when we say guaranteed, it means a formal promise or assurance. You hear that? That certain conditions will be fulfilled, especially that a product will, well, once you are performed, that's what it basically says. And then it's a formal promise, so you know it's going to represent that pledge. Again, civil liberties are freedoms guaranteed to you by the Constitution to protect you from arbitrary, malicious prosecution and tyranny. What is arbitrary, malicious prosecution? Like what them do to Joel Jaguar out there on Nantucket Island, just like what they have done to me here on this island, without constitutional authority. That's what you call malicious prosecution. Them are accuse you of a crime when them not validate them statement of fact and at least issue it to you. Them just work with a citation and that's it. Now we say the Charter of Fundamental Rights and Freedoms of the Jamaica Constitution, Chapter 3, maintained under the common law legal system, and the Bill of Rights, Charter of the United States of America Constitution, Articles 1 through 10, maintained under the common law legal system. Number 5 says civil liberties, which is the fundamental freedoms. You see how it's structured, it deal with the Bill of Rights or the fundamental rights. Yes, the Constitution is such, but within the Constitution, you have different chapters or articles. So we are talking about for Jamaica specifically, Chapter 3, as amended 2011. We don't know about the new thing, where them are come with, where them are change and I put cross-dressing system. We don't know about that. They are dealing with the one as amended 2011. Right, there's some mistake. We don't move from there. So. Now that is what you call the written law. The written express law. Now, civil rights, in contrast, now again, when they must say contrast, you can hear them say the definition is the state of being strikingly different from something else. Yeah, man. Again, contrast, the state of being strikingly different from something else in just juxtaposition or close association. Juxtaposition would mean probably parallel. So when you hear contrast, it has a civil rights is strikingly different from civil liberties, which is fundamental freedoms. You know what I mean? In just juxtaposition or close association. Any kind of comparison, yeah, are two different things. So the written law is there that is expressed, and the legalities shall be expressed in another code. This is why, you know, the civil rights I deal with the legal codes, not the constitutional laws that are there. So we have to be a little bit specific. People have talked about law. Why we are use the common law England, the common law legal system is because of how everything are function out there. And your birth certificate that is there, it will operate out there whether you know it or not. Yeah, all of your activity really represent that legal entity, that male or female. Of them kind of clarity. This is why we say you have what is known as a de jure area, which is lawful area, which is where the superior court or the supreme court would sit. You know what I mean? And then you have the de facto area, where that's where all other inferior courts, like the traffic areas and magisterial areas, where there is no, you just say, judicators. Yeah, you just have what they call, what am I gonna call these attorneys? There's another name for attorneys. Probably I think it's what? Solicitors? Something like that. But just like how a lawyer is separate and distinct from an attorney, that's what we mean. The attorney is there to transfer all of your interests somewhere else, away from you, while the lawyer should direct whatever matter to the appropriate, that's a legal system, which would be the common law legal system. So this is the distinction we're going out there where this is Jaguar up on the island and we are dealing with law about the area where them hold on upon this man thing and hold on upon island is where the legality is. So we have to move away from that naturally to where the fundamental freedom exists or the civil liberties exist, getting away from the civil rights per se. We're going to use the civil rights when we get to that point to say, boy, this is the rules where they're in place, but uno are violate because from 1866, 1964, the civil rights there. But again, true, we are so we in a civil, you know. So when we take it from the level where we are so the civil liberties we apply to us as individuals, a whole different level than we are playing at the game where them make all kind of presumption. Now we say number 5, civil rights in contrast are the legal authority to perform. Now that is what the rights is. Legal authority to perform. And this is detailed in federal laws and statutes that protects you from discrimination. Now, we say the civil rights, right? Do it protect you from discrimination? You understand it now have nothing to do with your freedom. All rights do is give you the authority to perform. Why would you want authority from anybody to perform when you're a free man? This is when them capture you. and so them civilize you. So them have to give civil rights, not freedom, not civil freedom, nor civil liberties. And when we say fundamental, it means the basic, it means the foundational, it means it couldn't exist without the fundamental rights that is in place. So this is why we said there's a distinction with the civil rights, and we have to chant it, express it, and then at least, we can retain it and bring clarity to anything we are doing. Now, again, an example of a civil rights is the right to be free from employment discrimination based on a protected factor. Now, civil rights protection under the Equality Act 2010 from these types of discrimination. So again, when I talk about the civil liberties here, we are talking about the fundamental rights. And you have an Equality Act where from 2010, where them, express these type of discrimination. It is against the law to discriminate against someone because of a protected characteristics. Here are the 9 protected characteristics: age, disability, gender, reassignment, marriage and civil partnership. You hear that? Marriage and civil partnership, pregnancy and maternity, race, religion or belief, sex, and sexual orientation. So all of these things come under civil rights. Now let me tell you something different now. Now the Constitution when I talk about where the fundamental rights and freedom as amended 2011, it not have no kind of no nonsense like this about sexual or no. It's marriage is just man and woman brawling like that. And it have laws against buggery, that very same constitution. So this is why me I say a 2 area. You understand? And 2 area may have different constitutions. Obviously, the one we use, when we talk about the double jeopardy clause or rule, obviously there's a next constitution out there when I have it, because if me never raise that alarm, people would know it exists. Just like how if me not speak this way now, most people wouldn't get this kind of clarity. You're not going to find it in a no school, nowhere. Anyway, step by step. Number 7 says guarantee definition. Now, 1, a warranty. 2, a promise, assurance, word of honor, pledge, vow, oath, bond, commitment, covenant. We're talking about guarantee. Not the guarantee, but guarantee. Number 3, a collateral surety. Hear that? A collateral, a security, a surety. Now we have a guarantee. Our guarantee, I have guarantee, G-U-A-R-A-N-T-E-E. That's the definition. And then, we have G-U-A-R-A-N-T-Y. That would be the contract itself. Just like how the surety ship would be the contract, and you would have to be the principal within that contract. And the guarantee would be the contract, and you would have to be the guarantor of that contract. Number 3, again, collateral security, surety, guarantee, or earnest. Now, as a verb, guarantee would mean to underwrite, put up collateral for, promise, swear, swear to the fact, pledge, vow, undertake, give one's word, give an assurance, give an undertaking, take an oath. Now that's where guarantee definition is. Now, number 8 was a corporation defined. Listen carefully. A corporation is considered to be a citizen of both its state of incorporation, example Jamaica, and its principal place of business, example the USA Commonwealth Stock Exchange Market up there in Massachusetts. Now we say only the legal person, male or female, operating as a corporation can be considered a citizen. Never the cognized man or woman. And we have to place emphasis on that word cognized, because most people, are non-cognizant, put it that way. Now, we say the citizenship is a contractually binding agreement which is the imposed debt pledge, DEBT pledge presumption. Again, it is the imposed debt pledge presumption being made by the state authority upon its citizenry. I know I never hear a citizen expressed that way as a corporation, but believe me when I tell you, I now make up these things. I just know some take from their rules when I'm about them. And there them are going to discover these things just like I. Yeah, man. Just as I. Now, number 9, sir, valid contract. Again, emphasis, valid. I have contract out there that is invalid. Valid contract requires several key elements such as offer and acceptance, consideration, contractual capacity, genuine consent, not manufactured consent, genuine consent with full disclosure, and legality of purpose. In other words, like what Babylon do, there is no legality of their purpose. Them really just fleece your estate by silent deception and inducement to participate in commercial fraud by way of them court process, commercial court process. That's what it is. Number 10, proper law. In international dealings, proper law refers to the legal system that will govern the contract's interpretation and enforcement. This is why we say, if them have 3 major legal systems out there, which is the common law legal system, the civil law legal system, and the religious law legal system, then we have to work with the common law legal system only through what I hit the right there. We don't have no issue with that. And this is why we have expressed these things to say when it is not this way, where you can't validate anything at all, then there is nothing. It's mute, it's void. It's like anything that is contrary, contrasting, repugnant to the constitutional laws is void, no good. Yeah, man. So number 10 said party autonomy rule refers to the principle of party autonomy, where there is an express selection of proper law or appropriate legal system, often determined by the parties' intentions or the contract's closest connection to a particular jurisdiction. So that contract would have to be that federal area. Hence, you move whatever case you have in the inferior state areas and take it to a location where would I say the fundamental rights and freedom is, or the civil liberties are. Yeah, man. Now, number 12 says essential elements of a contract. A, offer and acceptance. This is when a clear offer must be made by one party and the other party must unequivocally accept those terms. Now, when we have a notice of do not trespass or a do not trespass notice, which stipulate expressively on the face, so by you trespassing, you will initiate a binding contractual agreement as penalty for your trespass. Now that is an express contract. You understand? That is a clear offer. You understand? By one party called police or Babylon are going to engage you. Now the other party who would have to be the police must unequivocally, remember, you know, yeah, express to him, say, listen, this is what going to happen, you know, if you mess around. And when we say unequivocally, it means in a way that leaves no doubt that you're entering into a contract. This is why you give them notice. You know what I mean? And Babylon, like when you say, Ferrell Dosey, take Joel Jaguar, do not trespass notice, and she turn it around and she read it and she said she don't understand and she said she have right to trespass. Now that is expressing public slavery. This is why I say we share information for bring clarity and of it likes or whatever else ones and ones out there think it is. The moment you don't have no contract to interact or interface or engage with us, you don't, so you can't move forward. And this is why we say everything we say happened to Joel Jaguar is called public slavery. Irrespective of what any colonized citizen may think, we are talking about law, not opinions, not even a judge's opinion. We are talking about law, and we express a lot of things in order to show the criminality that persists in front of people unknowingly, only because they don't have the clarity. We are showing people we are break the laws, and these people say them are appointed and elected public entities that is under bond. Anyway, when I want there too long, I just clear up that little thing here and push forward. Now, B, consideration. Each party must exchange something of value, which can be a promise, an action, or forbearance. C, contractual capacity. Parties must have the legal ability to enter into a contract, meaning them can't be underage and of unsound mind and say them are going to enter a contract. That won't work. Make it void. D, genuine consent, not just manufactured consent like what these colonizing authority usually do. So we are talking about genuine consent, meaning you sit down, all right, the agreement must be entered into freely without coercion, misrepresentation, or mistake. Now, for the government, my experience is the total opposite. Them lock you up. illegally, unlawfully, and then them are going to coerce you for sign a notice of recognizance and a guarantee contract. Why? You won't get out if you don't sign it. And by them doing that, them express themselves as being outside the law, because them now deal with law. So now them misrepresent themselves. You understand? So them misrepresent themselves in a public office, which them you consider that a breach of their fiduciary duty. Then they will say, oh, it may be a mistake. This is when them try use plausible deniability. Them will, have a little ear where them can say, oh, it may be a mistake, but our case, Jaguar case. Not when this specific situation persists for all these years back and forth. Yeah, man, this is what you call witch hunt and inquisition. In this case, I'm probably an unfair wizard, but I'm now going to find a wizard. You understand? Yeah, then we'll find an ancient master. Yeah, from the old ancient school system. That's what I'm going to find, but I'm now going to find a wizard. So this is how we have to try to express the information, share it, and push away. I think I don't have much more for God. Let me see what we have left. Now, number C would say terms of the contract, which would be the stipulation, where direct the activity of the contract. Now, the terms of the contract should clearly outline the obligations of each party. And D, good faith and fair dealings. Now, this is where Babylon have nothing about them. Parties should act honestly and fairly in their dealings with each other. These people are criminals. So you're not going to get none. Fair and honest dealings with these people. So you have to record everything. 14. 3 major type of legal system in the world. 1, common law legal system based on custom, statutes, and judicial decision. 2, civil law legal system based on codes. 3, religious law legal system based on religious texts. Some legal systems involve a combination of 2 or, in a few instances, all 3 types of legal systems. 15, common law legal systems. Disputes are settled through an adversarial exchange of evidence and argument. 1, opposing party present their case before a neutral fact finder. 2, depending on the type of case, a fact finder may be either a jury or a judge. 3, where a judge sits with the jury or the fact finder. 4, where the judge sits alone, the judge has a dual responsibility to determine the appropriate law to apply, as well as the facts proved. Now, the appropriate law applied, that's when you talk about the proper law. Number 5, where the judge sits with the jury, the judge directs the jury on the relevant law to be applied to the facts the jury finds proof. Number 6, the jury or the judge, as the case may be, evaluates the evidence, apply the appropriate law to the facts, and thereby arrives at a decision. 7, the following Following the decision, the party against whom the decision is made, with the exception of the prosecution in a criminal case on a verdict of acquittal, may appeal the decision to a higher court. Now, number 16, international dealings, hyphen, diversity of citizenship and diversity of jurisdiction. I touched on thing before, but we can repeat it. We should. A diversity of citizenship refers to when there is no common state citizenship between the plaintiff, like the plaintiff who is Nantucket Island or the Commonwealth of whatever the Commonwealth is, we are go up against the world jaguar. So them are the plaintiffs, so we now have no citizenship with them, period. Them can't verify none of that. So we are non-citizens. Now again, them say there is no citizenship between the plaintiff and the defendant, so-called dual jaguar in a suit. B, diversity jurisdiction refers to one way a federal court can obtain subject matter jurisdiction over a given case. The other method being federal question jurisdiction. Now, anywhere the fundamental rights and freedom can apply, that's alone we can work. Then you usually have say district court, but them have a state district court, and them have a federal district court. So we have to run away from the state area and jump over where the federal area is, because all of these courts are federal in their nature. Anyway, them clarity that most people might, well, so we are newbie, yeah, and our head tough, we just learn and we are share what we are learn. As we get the clarity, we'll make the correction and move forward. 17, this is it. The Erie Doctrine is a binding principle where federal court exercising diversity jurisdiction apply federal procedural law of the federal rules of civil procedure, but must now apply state substantive law which govern the original rights and obligations of the individual. Which substantive law that could be? The Constitution and its law, which is maintained under the common law legal system. That's it. And in there, so you're going to find the Bill of Rights or the Charter of Fundamental Rights and Freedom. Now, when them say fundamental rights, remember rights are just authority to perform. So Jamaica give we authority to perform and freedom. You see that? But for some reason we can't access it, yeah. Them talk it, but them hide it. You have to go downtown at the Supreme Court and shake it up. Boy, I can't wait to get down there, because I can't escape going down there. I shall. I guarantee when Byron Sykes hear me coming down there, I'm going to retire. All of them are beat, I'm going to retire. Is either I'm going to retire or a one big catastrophe down there. God, them can't stop me from enter. Judgment. All I want to make sure I wear long pants. God, them are going to draw a card from me if I have on short pants. And I remember when police used to wear short pants. All of a sudden, it's a problem when you wear short pants. I've never seen a nonsense like this. Yeah, man. However, again, as we say, what is the law? We say the proper law of contract or the appropriate legal system, which is the common law legal system maintained under the Constitution, its laws, and its treaties. These include the Bill of Rights Charter for America and the Charter of Fundamental Rights and Freedom for Jamaica. Now that is it. Work done. I hope me not take too long out here. John, no, I'm going to flick over a 40 minutes. It's not bad. It's not bad. I swear me I tear down an hour more. So I man share them information for bring honorable clarification for some ones where I roll according to the information where we are present. Yeah, this is when we say freedom. Freedom in freedom in. Freedom of the advocacy. However, when I say Babylon always want to test with, and Babylon now gonna stop test with. So we just have to, rise to the occasion and share with information and, glorify the edification. All light and make we become better. All light and make we improve. I'm not lie. Yeah, as draining as it can be, it excites me. It excites the mess out of me. It's just that I have to stay up all night and I read because I don't want to stop. You understand? And that will affect my little 3 hour sleep pattern. But outside of that, man, learning, oh gosh, it's really golden. Yeah, man, a few things can rival that. Very few things. Yeah, one of them is a beautiful woman. So that can be a muse. Yeah, you have a muse that paint picture like, Leonardo da Vinci, not DiCaprio, da Vinci. Yes, sir. Anyway, we are all a joy within ourselves. We are give thanks. We are celebrate again. We are celebrate absolute victory in all its variety. Naturally, naturally. Yeah, man. So the brave may fall but never yield. We say bold and brave. We say firm and strong. Joel Jaguar, Nantucket Island. Salute out there. Salute with respect, power, and honor. Gratitude for your presence in this existence, God. At least you can manifest your glory within this earth. At least you leave your footprint upon this earth. Unlike most, where have them footprint stolen or bounded, meaning the soul of them feet bound. Yeah, man. That's where the birth certificate are derived from. The birth certificate are just evidence of what is hidden. And what is hidden is the original information and an image of the soul of your feet, which is housed on the island. You saw that house down at the island records office. Most people probably are hear them part of the job for the first time. But that will happen if you don't have in-depth knowledge. If you only have the surface information, you're going to be repetitive like most others where can only regurgitate but cannot present nothing original, nothing substantive. And the difference that our information emit change literally, and the eye them will see it but we will keep silent. So this is why we have to celebrate irrespective of what go on out there, irrespective of how it is. Yeah, there's never a moment where we don't get to live our best life. From where of life, there's nothing better. So we are live our best life naturally. You understand? Yeah, man. So welcome to this beauty. Whether you think it or not, whether you're going to believe it or not. Just being cognizant of your existence is the best. It's the highest. So you live your best life. All when you have to cry, all when you have to go through all kind of disappointment, even pain, but it's still an express life is when it's gone, that's it. Anyway, Give thanks out there. Salute Joel Jaguar. Salute. Yeah, man, he just jump out with some information. Cause I don't like to climb a mountain and not do research on the mountain before you climb it. You know what I mean? So at them way there, we just bring clarity on that level. Anyway, I wrap it up here now, because I tell you, I'm kind of ride out for a good little bit. So I take some time and rejuvenate, yeah, and push out again, fresh again from them later. So salute free people. May the Most High guide and protect the item in all the item ways, in all the item endeavors, and fulfill the item desires, wants, and needs blissfully, perpetually. Salute free people. Complete gratitude. Honor my king, Joel Jaguar. Well, I chop it up in our field. Honor my king. Why even I sound a bit tired. But it never stop with gratitude.